There is no equivalency between anything in HLT and HLT07 and CHC and CHC08, either in units or qualification. And so that raises the question for a lot of people about what happens to my trainers, okay? Because they don't hold these qualifications. And what you have to look at is what is called vocational competence, okay? As trainers and assessors, it's a responsibility to not only have the TAE, but you're also supposed to be professionally developing and still have experience in the workplace. So the trainers and assessors should still actually be able to do this. For example, when we developed the community development qualification and units, they had a major shift from needs of their stakeholders to priorities of their stakeholders. Now, people that are delivering that qualification should still actually be working somewhat in the industry, and so they should have known that shift was happening and actually been working with that shift. And to actually, how you will deliver if people don't actually have the exact qualifications, it can be done via a peer group assessment to deem people vocationally competent, okay? Now, the actual definite answers to this are not from us, they're from ASQA. They're the ones who will audit people. They're the ones who actually set the rules. So there is the hyperlink there to what you can do. So you just need to make sure that you actually fit into their requirements of what it is. And again, it comes back to evidence. You know, are your trainers as assessors professionally developing? Are they keeping records of that? If you get audited, will the auditors be happy with the evidence? It comes back to that all the time. A lot of the questions that we get on the phone, we will deflect to ASQA. They're not our questions, they're regulatory questions. If you rang up and said, we've done something, is this good enough? It'll always be, it can be. If you've got the correct evidence, check with ASQA. We can't answer those questions. If it's about content of the units and qualification, great, that's what we'll answer. But if it's about your scopes, your trainers and assessors, all of that, we will have to divert. We're not the people to give you those answers. And if you take our answers and your auditors aren't happy, it's still your responsibility. You can't, you know, they won't accept that. If we give you the wrong advice, so we don't give the advice. Our answer is that's a regulatory question, that's a regulatory question, a lot. So you just have to make sure that that's what you do going forward with your trainers and assessors. The other thing to look at, and mainly everyone here in New South Wales will be looked after by ASQA, so that's what it is, but the learner transition, it will also be their requirements. They set those rules, we don't. So there's that fact sheet there. There's also fact sheets about other issues. The trainer assessment requirements, delivering elective units that may be different to the qualification, listing, using third-party evidence, registering for revised training package components, the amount of training and conducting validation. It's all from your regulators and you need to refer to them. So the next steps is we're going to be releasing or submitting for endorsement in October these areas like enrolled nursing, ambulance, dental, health support service, public health and client services. And we have to go through this massive process of putting a whole training package back on training.gov in the back end. And because we have to do the entire training package and it's very data entry heavy, there can be mistakes in the current ones. If you see a mistake, that's a spelling mistake, it's a word that's missing a space, we can correct that really quickly. Normally, in previous years, we weren't able to do it so quick because we weren't doing releases so close together. So if you see mistakes, let us know. We are only human and we do make those, you know, when we're doing so many. So there may be some slight mistakes that we can adjust very quickly. So let us know if you see any of those. The other big thing is as of the 31st of December, all ISCs in Australia are defunded. There is currently expressions of interest being submitted to the Federal Department of Education about who will do this work as of the 1st of January. It may not be us. We don't know who. Theoretically, someone is meant to be up and running by then. Who knows if the timeframes will work. Why I suggest if you download our implementation guides and companion volumes is we have to hand everything to a transition manager and they will theoretically have that information, but we don't know. So once we put the information out there, download it, save it, you've got it, and you can use it that way. But theoretically, someone will be doing this work as of the 1st of January. We don't know who that is.
But it might be.
It may be us in a different form. They will not be called industry skills councils. Yes?
Is it conditional that they won't make changes once they take ownership?
We can't. The question was, is it conditional they won't take change? We don't know. We can't say. Theoretically, we assume that they won't because we will have everything in the health and community services training packages transition to the new format and standards. So theoretically, they wouldn't, but we personally cannot guarantee that. It is not us, it will not necessarily be our responsibility.
Is that happening to all industry schools?
All industry skills councils have to go through this process. But not all industry skills councils will be necessarily fully transitioned to the streamlined packages. The question is about what will happen with change. As we did this time, so when we submit our documents to the Department of Education for endorsement, we will load those to our website. That's what happened on May the 8th. They became live on our website, but they are drafts. If you decide to start your scoping and research project, that's fine, that's your option, but you have to take, like if the government comes back and goes, no, we want changes, your work may change. So if you want to do that with the drafts, it's all your call, but we can't guarantee that there will not be changes. Yeah, I mean, the AISC has the right to demand changes within any unit of qualification that they want, if they need to. So there may be changes, but we can't guarantee that that won't happen. The drafts are drafts. It didn't happen this time. You know, like we submitted, they said yes. Great. So if you want to do that, you have the option, but it's your response. We can't guarantee.